Update 209 is finally here, so I've gone from playing 2013 Payday to 2021 Payday overnight, which has been a shock to the system. This update has of course been released to celebrate Payday 2's 8th birthday, and as of right now you can play it and Payday 2 completely for free, picking up any DLCs you may have been missing at up to 83% off their usual price. It's a good time to be a Payday fan, with Update 209 also bringing with it an insane new weapon, a set of side jobs, community event, and even cosmetic rewards to boot. This is a proper celebration event, and in this video, I'm going to be taking a closer look at the ridiculously overpowered Cash Blaster, which is the focal point of the update, before it disappears. You see, our challenge as a community is to spend 15 billion with this thing. To clarify, yes, the Cash Blaster actually does shoot money from your offshore account at a rate of $1,000 per kill. Sorry, I mean peaceful retirement organized. In other words, right now, as a community, we need to take out 15 million cops with the Cash Blaster, which, by the looks of things, won't be too difficult. This weapon is busted, but reportedly when the event ends it's set to be removed, meaning before that time I'm going to show you how to make the most out of this thing, as it may be the most broken weapon ever added to the game. But you may ask, how do I even unlock it? Well, that's easy enough. On 8 of the 10 original heists, secret trophies have been added. You need to find and interact with these trophies, each representing a year in Payday's life cycle, on at least 2 of the heists before going on to complete the heist in full. They spawn in set but randomized locations, 4 on single day heists and 2 on each day of the multi-day ones. Easy enough to find, especially with the aid of the guide linked in the description below. Keep in mind you'll need all 8 of them if you want the full cosmetic set, which may even top the Prime from last year in terms of visual design. But you're not really here for that, are you? You want to learn how to maximize your weekend with the strongest weapon in the game before it leaves us, or is at least massively nerfed on Monday. Maybe you're still after a few troublesome completions for that DSOD mask, want something to help you finally complete the secrets and overdrill, or you simply want to grind out Safehouse Nightmare 24/7 for all those years of pain. Either way, the Cash Blaster is here for you. Let me start by explaining how the weapon works, as it's not entirely obvious at first. Functionally, it's pretty much the MA-17 flamethrower. It even shares model similarities and an equivalent fire rate with it. But it's truly so much more. This weapon fires a money bundle projectile, which stops at the first target hit. After about 13 meters, the bundle dissipates and deals no damage, meaning that it has limited range, just like a flamethrower. The big difference here is that this weapon hits over 10 times harder than its flamethrowing brethren. Yep, it has 95 base damage with a 2000 shot fire rate. For those of you wondering, that is over 3000 DPS without any additional skills. Don't get me started on the damage this thing will be doing once we add Berserker and crits into the mix. It also has improved concealment, meaning it's just begging to be paired with skills such as low blow. There are only a few downsides of using this weapon, and I'm not even counting the offshore cost as one of them. $1,000 is such an insignificant amount even for newer players. The most glaring issue of all is that every other weapon you use in the future will feel weak by comparison. More seriously, it also has average ammo capacity and pickup rates, which can result in some ammo economy troubles, but honestly it's not a big deal and I'm grasping at straws here. Simply bring ammo bags if you feel you need them. Even its fairly lengthy reload animation doesn't matter when you can do this with it. And speaking of animations, there's something incredibly satisfying about cops seeming to burn out in pure bliss at a $1,000 paycheck, all whilst they sparkle with confetti and a pleasant little jingle rings out. This is peak Payday 2 at its absolute silliest, and it's always nice to give something back to the boys in blue. Anyway, the weapon's incredibly good and has the potential for the highest DPS in the game. Hell, it can even melt directly through shields and dozers without worrying about flanking or faceplate removal. It's the definition of a god gun, and I think Overkill are fully aware of this, but it's our duty to ask, how far can we truly push it? Which is where the build comes in. Throughout parts of the gameplay, you'll see me rocking an ammo setup with the GL40, but after I found I needed to counter snipers, I switched over to a pure damage build with the Union rifle. In terms of perk decks, Anarchist makes by far the most sense. Not only is it great with high concealment builds due to utilising the suit, it's also great with Berserker as it's not a healing or throwable consuming deck. You should be able to armorgate a ton with this thing as it fires so quickly, and even though it doesn't deal headshot damage, it can still prot bullseye in addition to Lust for Life. As for other key skills, I run a standard medic bag Partners in Crime setup in Mastermind, Surefire and Body Expertise in Technician as that increases your DPS and enables you to shoot through crowds of cops, Unseen Strike and Low Blow in Ghost to max out crit chance, to add in headshot multipliers, and finally Berserker in Fugitive to further up the damage. This is DPS heaven. Even the tankiest standard enemy in the game, the minigun Dozer, lasts no time at all when faced with this thing at its best. In fact, it's worth remembering that you hit so hard, it's not actually necessary for you to treat it like a standard flamethrower. Instead, try burst firing it at crowds to get the most out of its ammo capacity. It has 800 rounds at base and sufficient ammo pickup to sustain itself if you have some trigger discipline. I do admit though, it can be hard not to get carried away with this many particle effects on screen. Also, try to leverage Bloodthirst Ace whenever you need to reload and play tight around cover given your somewhat limited range. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this is the most overpowered heisters have ever been relative to cops, and a well-coordinated team could comfortably spawn camp an entire heist on DSOD with this powerhouse of a weapon. If you do happen to be new to the game, it's not always this easy. One day, the Cloaker will re-emerge to kick you in the head, but until then, let's see him try and get close with 4 cash blasters on the map. Bribery has never felt so sweet. In closing, I think this update, which is more of an event than traditional Payday update, is incredibly cool. It's different to what we've seen in the past, reminding me more of the community excitement the old Crime Fest and Hype Train events would bring. I think it's great to have that feeling again, but do think it's a shame that it'll only be around for this weekend. I sympathise with people who just don't happen to be able to play right now, and hope Overkill do something to reward them with the fun of the Cash Blaster in the future. As for the meta, which this weapon most certainly is at the top of right now, being bulldozed for a long weekend, honestly, whatever. The gun's a ton of fun and it may help people access and try their hands at those harder difficulties, and you're a miserable elitist if that annoys you. Payday is a game that belongs to everyone at any skill level, and at least for the next few days, just about anyone can see how they fare on Death Sentence 1 down with a setup such as this. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to check out my Apex partner link if you're interested in buying a new PC. My 8th year anniversary special is coming up this week, so I'll see you all very soon, back in 2013.